and welcome to UMD News for this hour. I am Shimelis M. Gebremichael. In the headlines, UN agencies, Ethiopia appealed for $73 million to feed over 750,000 refugees as food rations see drastic 50% decrease. Ethiopia starts power generation from second turbine at mega dam. Strike for statehood in the Gurage part of the southern nations, nationalities and peoples region, shortly named as SNNPR. And now we will move into the news in details. We invite you all to stay with the program. In the meantime, please do not forget to like and share our programs and subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is UMD News with me, Shimelis M. Gebremichael. First up, UN agencies, Ethiopia appealed for $73 million to feed over 750,000 refugees as food rations see drastic 50% decrease. The United Nations World Food Programme, WFP, the UN Refugee Agency, UNHCR, and the Ethiopian Government Refugees and Returnees Service, RRS, appealed for $73 million to provide food rations to over 750,000 refugees in Ethiopia over the next 6 months. The three agencies warned WFP will completely run out of food for refugees by October, leaving vulnerable families who are dependent on food assistance at risk of undernutrition, micronutrient deficiency, susceptibility to decreased infection and increased protection risks. According to Addis Standard, the results show that more households continue to adopt negative coping strategies by reducing the number of meals eaten in a day, consuming less expensive or less preferred food, or limiting the portion of the meal served. More households reported to have engaged in demeaning activities, including engaging children in income generation activities, the collection and sale of firewood, while several borrowed cash, relying on friends, relatives for food. This forces refugees to rely on the resources of the hosting community and environment they live in, which also increases the likelihood of resource-based conflicts between refugees and the host communities. More resources must be mobilized urgently to meet immediate food and non-food needs of refugees to avert further suffering, while similar investments are made to enable sustainable food solutions embedded in the commitments made under the Global Compact for Refugees, GCR, and the Comprehensive Refugees Response Framework, CRRF, for refugees and hosting communities through livelihood and cash programs. As a short-term measure, WFP and its partners continue to prioritize the needs of children aged 6 to 23 months and pregnant and breastfeeding women under the Undernutrition Prevention Program. We leave the rest of the report for you, our viewers and listeners, to read from Addis Standard. Ethiopia starts power generation from second turbine at mega dam. Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed kick-started electricity production from the second turbine at its controversial mega dam on the Blue Nile on Thursday, despite continuing objections by Egypt and Sudan over the project. Abiy also confirmed that a third filling of the multi-billion-dollar Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, shortly named as GERD, was underway, a development that led Egypt last month to protest to the UN Security Council. Thursday's move came even though there is still no agreement between Ethiopia and its downstreaming neighboring Egypt and Sudan about the GERD operations. Abiy insisted that the third filling of the 4.2 billion dam, said to be the largest hydroelectric scheme in Africa was not causing any water shortage for the two countries. According to Africa News, Ethiopia first began generating electricity at the dam in February. Currently, the two turbines out of the total of 13 at the dam are generating 750 megawatt of electricity. The GERD is ultimately expected to produce more than 5,000 megawatts, more than doubling Ethiopia's current output. Last month, Egypt wrote to the Security Council voicing its objections to Ethiopia's plans to fill the dam for the third year without a third wage agreement. Cairo and Khartoum fear it could threaten their access to vital Nile waters and have demanded a written agreement between on the dam's filling and operation. The process of filling the GERD's vast reservoir, which has a total capacity of 74 billion cubic meters, began in 2020. The new U.S. envoy for the Horn of Africa, Mike Hammer, discussed the project during the visits to both Ethiopia and Egypt last month, saying Washington was actively engaged in supporting efforts to find a diplomatic solution to the dispute. The 145-meter, that is 475-foot-high structure straddles the Blue Nile in the Benishangul Gumuz region of western Ethiopia, near the border with Sudan. And finally, a strike for statehood in the Gurage part of the southern nation's nationalities and peoples region. Gurage people feel disenfranchised that the constitutional provision that entrenched the ethnic-based federal state in Ethiopia is denied to them. No security incident reported so far in connection with the strike. From reports, the identity of the group that called for a strike is undisclosed at the stage, apparently for fear of reprisal from the government, although it is a constitutional right to organize a peaceful protest. Latest reports from the region shows what is known about the strike so far is that a flyer was distributed in Walqitte, the seat of the Gurage Zone administration, and Hawaria town. It called for a peaceful protest calling for a stay-at-home strike to pressure the government to address administrative demands for Gurage people. Gurage Zone, under the current administrative arrangement, is within the Southern Nations, Nationalities and Peoples region, shortly named as SNNPR Regional State, a regional state with a distinct administrative arrangement in view of Ethiopia's existing ethnic-based federal administrative structure. SNNPR was organized as a cluster of more than 50 language-speaking groups in Ethiopia. The Gurage Zone, with its center at Walqitte, has been demanding a statehood of its own. That means it has much higher population compared to some ethnic-based regional state. Will this answer be addressed? We'll wait and see. Well, with that, we come to the end of the news for today. This has been UMD Media News with me, Shimelis M. Gebremichael. Thank you for watching and have a good one.